Hello everyone, and welcome to a very important video on solving for x. Sometimes people say that what we're doing is we're getting x by itself. It means the same thing. So let's take a look at an equation here. Here we have 20x plus 10 equals 50. And what we're going to try to figure out is what does x equal? Is it 20 times 1 plus 10 equals 50? 20 times negative 6 plus 10 equals 50? 20 times 1/2 plus 10 equals 50? I don't know. Now, maybe you can do this math in your head, but we're going to pretend like you can't so that we can learn how to systematically go about solving for x. Okay, so you will notice that we have two numbers that are kind of on the same side of the equation as x, and we're going to get rid of them. This one, the 20, is multiplied to x, and then the 10 is just added on. And generally what we want to do is we want to get rid of the easiest stuff first. And this 10 is just kind of added on. It's not very tightly attached to that 20x, so we're going to get rid of it first. The 10 is added on, so to get rid of it, we will subtract a 10, okay? And that will make the 10 go away, right? Whatever we do to this side of the equation, we must do to the other side of the equation. That's like the big rule in algebra, is that whatever you do to this side, you have to do to this side. So in this case, I'm subtracting 10 from this side, so I'm going to subtract 10 from that side. Now, think about this. On this side of the equation, all we have left is the 20x, right? Because we took the 10 away. So I can just write 20x down here as being what's left on this side. On this side of the equation, I have 50 minus 10, which is 40. So I'm going to put 40 on that side. So already I've made great strides. I've gone from this equation down to this equation. All right, now let's think again. How is the 20 attached to the x? Well, it's multiplied. All right, what's the opposite of multiplying? Dividing. So let's divide this side by 20. And remember, whatever we do to this side of the equation, we have to do to this side of the equation. That's the rule. So if we have 20x and we divide by 20, that's kind of like saying, all right, these two are going to just cancel each other out. They're going to go away. So the only thing that's left on this side of the equation now is the x. On this side of the equation, we have 40 divided by 20, which is 2. We now have gotten x all by itself on one side of the equation. So we are done. So this is our answer. Now, we can check to make sure that our answer is right. And here's how we would do that. We would rewrite our equation, 20x plus 10 equals 50, go all the way back to the very first one. And this time, rewrite it, but whenever you see x right here, you're going to put in the number 2. So this is going to be 20 times 2 plus 10. And you ask yourself, does that really equal 50? Well, let's solve it. Remember your order of operations. So we have to do our multiplication first. 20 times 2 is 40. So we have 40 plus 10. Does that really equal 50? Why, yes, it does. So that means that our answer checks, and x is really the right answer. So that's how you go about solving for x. Let's do another example. All right, let's say that we have this equation. 14 plus x equals 75. Okay, so now remember, we want to get x by itself. What is messing us up in that regard? Well, this 14 is what's messing us up, right? If we got rid of the 14, then we would have x all by itself, and that's perfect. So how can we get rid of that 14? Well, you ask yourself, How is the 14 attached to the x? It's attached through addition. So to get rid of it, we will subtract. And if we're going to subtract 14 from this side, then we know the rule that says we have to subtract 14 from the other side. So now, on this side of the equation, my 14s, positive 14 and negative 14, they're going to cancel each other out. So all I have left over here is x. And over here, I have 75 minus 14, which, if I do my math right here, is 61. So x equals 61. Again, to check myself, I would rewrite my equation, but instead of the x, I would put in the 61. And I would say, is my equation true? Is 14 plus 61 really equal to 75? I would use my calculator, and I would say, yes, it is really equal. Therefore, I did the problem right. Okay, we're going to do just one more example. This one is a little bit harder, I think. X divided by 5 equals 30. X divided by 5 equals 30. Okay, so we want to get x by itself. It's not. It's got a 5 there. So how is this 5 interacting with the x? Well, it's x divided by 5. So to undo it, I would want to multiply by 5. So I'm going to multiply both sides of my equation by 5. Remember, whatever I do over here, I have to do over here. All right, and so then that is going to leave me with just x on this side. And over here, I have 30 times 5, which is 150. So that's what I think my answer is. To check it, I would come on this side, and I would say, okay, I'm going to put 150 in for x. So is it true that 150 divided by 5 equals 30? Why, yes, it is true. Yay! So that means that I did the problem right. So the rules to remember is that you're going to slowly pick away at your equation until x is by itself. And whatever you do on one side of the equation, you must do on the other side. That is how you solve for x.